Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Castin Love from the Serious Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And this is your terrific Tuesday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my mission is to stand in my heart and help other people into theirs. This webisode is for Tuesday, January 12th, 2016. And today, the Great Human Walk will actually skip through two steps. We begin in step 21, where it's all sorts of fun, and then we go quantum this afternoon with step 22, Capricorn. In fact, today I'm really going to discuss mostly the quantum step and how to kind of manage this quantum step, because today might be a little freaky. Let's start right away with today's vibe. Today's vibe is sunny with a chance of wigging out. That's a term from high school, actually, wigging out. Have you ever guys heard that? Maybe it's Midwestern. I picked it up somewhere. I think people might wig out today, and that has to do with the combination of Capricorn and all Aquarius energy going on. Now, Capricorn is all about stability. It's all about lots of decisions built on lots of decisions, and Capricorn energy is that part of humanity that wants to get to the top of the mountain. But in the next 24 hours, we will go quantum, and you'll see in the Zen Den how it's very quantum. There's a lot of Aquarius energy, which means that there might be a sudden gust of wind that lifts you from your mountain and puts you on another one. That is if you don't scream for your life and hold on to the pine trees, right? So I'm going to be coaching to let go and let it flow and see where the winds take you. But in the nature of Capricorn, it takes a very sophisticated, spiritually elite, in shape light walker to really let go of their control and let them go to another peak. Some are ready, some are not. Hey, no shame involved. So today, sunny chance of wigging out. The wigging out is if you really are having a hard time with the transition of changing. Now, our mind is, of course, retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. That means that we are rethinking at large, and in this case, we are rethinking a major decision. So Mercury is at retrograde step 26, Capricorn. We're reconsidering a decision we once had. So you might have already thought about some sort of a jump and didn't do it because it wasn't the right time or you weren't ready or yada yada. It might be you. Here we are once again. I don't think it'd be brand new territory. Now, what are we receiving? Venus is at step 16, Sagittarius. So today you are opening up to receive inspiration. And you will likely receive inspiration, not just from Namaste today, but for your whole day, because your awareness is ready. And the inspiration comes from when things flow. So when it flows easily, God is talking to you. Everything in heaven is smooth, therefore everything with heaven on earth is smooth. If there's conflict, you're not really in the right situation, in my opinion. Now, emotions, how do we feel? We feel detached, and this is actually how we can go quantum. The moon in Aquarius makes everyone detached. You could say everyone's very professional today. And everyone is. Everyone's kind of crisp, and everyone's kind of friendly to everyone, and everyone's willing to be courteous to everyone. And the reason is the emotions have been shut off. Everyone's numb because the moon is in Aquarius. It allows us all to kind of take a step back. Well, when you add a quantum step 22 day to everyone already stepping back, not many people are holding on to pine trees, right? Because they're kind of detached. It's all like, oh, people kind of go with the flow. So you're set up to be detached. You're set up for inspiration. And our Mars, which is in Scorpio all the way through most of this whole first half of the year, I'm seeing as I'm doing the Witech service and doing the 12 days of New Year's, I'm seeing how Mars is just really enforcing boundaries this entire year. Well, Mars today is enforcing mental boundaries. So your mind is going to be really sharp about not going there or telling someone not to go there, okay? And that's okay. You're enforcing is good. So the last thing is that our power, where we dictate, is based on where we believe. So today your power comes from sticking to what you believe. In some ways you're creating proof So, remember, belief starts with something you want to create, and then you want to see evidence manifest. So we're in the place now where we're saying, I believe it, let's see evidence manifest, and you're calling to that evidence. Don't look for the evidence before you jump. It won't be there. It's your reality you're creating. And so to kind of wrap it up with the joy quest of today, how do you get through all this weird quantum? How do you get through the day? Very simple. Stick with where you belong. Today's joy quest is to stick with where you belong. That means you got to know in your heart who you are. You got to know what kind of a person you are, and you got to be willing to stick with where you belong, because the way you land on the correct mountain is having your heart charged with knowing who you are and what you want. And that also makes it a lot more of an fun journey. Okay? So when the I belong energy comes on and things go quantum, which is basically the universe rearranging society based on what their heart really wants, people kick and scream, sometimes even when their heart actually wants it, because they're simply out of touch with their heart and where it belongs. So let's move on to today's topic and help you with the quantum shift. Today's topic is opening to new rules. Practice makes master. And this has to do with us moving into now the higher degrees of Capricorn. Today we'll be at step 21 Capricorn. Later today, step 22. That's the whole point. And we wake up tomorrow in the 22 energy. And 22 is when things go what I call quantum. And quantum is when basically the basic boundaries of reality break down. And that could be the basic boundaries of your family unit, the basic boundaries of your daily life, the basic boundaries of your body. And in that moment of breakdown where the lines are unclear, you can actually find yourself on another dimension. You can take yourself to another level. So in a quantum day, a bodybuilder can take their body to a new level. On a quantum day, a business person can take their whole corporation maybe to a whole new level of business, open up a whole new door. Things happen, and that's because in that quantum moment, everyone's a little drunk spiritually and willing to go where their heart really wants to go. And this is a moment of longing of the heart in a way, because your heart is longing, and so you're willing to sacrifice if necessary even. That's kind of what happens in this quantum moment. So we're actually opening in this moment to uncharted territory, and I liken this to the United States when it was creating democracy for the first time. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn, the 1760s, humanity was creating democracy. That was the first quantum breakthrough in control. One Pluto lap later, we're going to be taking it to a higher level. And we're already talking about it. It's more sophisticated. We're having a look at our old constitution and going, can the NSA spy on this? Isn't that intrusion? Aren't you spying on us without, a warrant? It's like we're having to reinvent our constitution. We're taking our constitutional rights higher. This is natural. And we're going to have to look at, control at large. In your own personal life, just like back in the colonist time, they had to come to terms in their own heart as to whether or not they were going to fight for the colonists or they were going to side with the British. I mean, when you see your fellow countrymen all of a sudden deciding to go into revolution, you have to ask yourself, where am I with myself? What am I willing to do with myself? Again, because we're one Pluto lap later, Americans don't have to have a war in their face per se, but they do have to come to sort of resolution and revolution inside yourself with control and what you're going to decide. And that might be just deciding what's best for you the way you see things are now. Things are kind of crazy. Where do you live? Where do you put your family? Is it safe anywhere? I mean, I think we're already kind of in those terms. In the next 24 hours, it'll probably happen very personally, happen in your own personal story, where you have an option to open a door, walk down a bridge, try something new, something very revolutionary, maybe something very quantumly different. And the only way you know if you're in the right place is your heart says, yes, I so belong here. I guess I'm a freak. I guess I'm a revolutionary, right? I guess I am. Because when you go there, you follow your heart and you find other people or you find the situation makes your heart even brighter, that's when you know you belong there. But because it's Capricorn, I have to underscore that Capricorn is our control. Capricorn is our sum of decisions. A lot of people don't want to give up the fact that, for 30 years they said they were this, and then at 30 years later they're going to tell all their friends and family that they were wrong, that they really are that way. That's a lot of with people coming out of the closet, people being honest about themselves. It takes a long time for what? For them inside to finally come to that decision that they could jump and be and follow what their heart really wants. And that's what we're talking about. But because it's Capricorn, you don't want to leave your business, you don't want to leave your family, you don't want to leave your history, you don't want to blow your resume. I mean, nobody wants to screw up that mountain that they spent so long building, and everyone forgets it's just God creation. You can erase it and do it again. So in the next 24 hours, you're making a quantum jump or not. You're following your heart or not. It might be very, very small and symbolic. Sometimes it is very symbolic. Sometimes it's just ritual that, oh my gosh, that ritual means I will be this. But it likely is something kind of out of your normal control zone, out of your comfort zone. And maybe it's a logical conclusion. Maybe you already left. Maybe you already made a change. Maybe you're in a new territory and it's all new for that reason. And that's totally totally possible. True, too. Mercury retrograde. Some people are just simply one step at a time, and now it's starting to get really weird. So let's help you clarify today with what I'm trying to get at with the 5 o'clock question. And I call it the 5 o'clock question because I give you till 5 o'clock to answer this to yourself. The first one is, have you ever tried something entirely new and found that you were talented at it? Have you ever tried something completely new and you were like, oh my gosh, I am so good at this, right? And then the follow-up, so once you realized you were good at it, did you ask yourself, why was I resisting to try this the whole time? Did you ever look at why you weren't trying something that was there for you the whole time? Because it's kind of funny. It makes you ask, like, wow, what other hidden gems might there be? So I'll answer this, and you might be surprised to find this out. For me, have I ever tried something new and discovered I was talented? Yes, being on camera. I honestly went to film school to be a director and a producer. I was very obviously always a ham and a cornball, but honestly had no intention of being on camera. But then because I had no one else to do it, and I was kind of a control freak about the astrology part, so even if I found an actor, I felt like, oh, I think I'd probably make their life hell because I just can't give up the control of astrology. So I was like, I'll try going on camera. And then holy shit, people are like, you're really good. I was like, yeah, I am really natural on camera. Like, it completely surprised me. So then I was like, well, wow, that's interesting. Party of one in denial, and my family's like, see, it was always about your ego. See, it was like, oh, you start getting all that stuff, and that's part of it. And it's like, all right, so why was I resisting? And that's a good question, and it's very complicated, but I'll share with you the reason I was resisting was because I didn't love myself, and I was uncomfortable with people being in the spotlight because I was uncomfortable with people loving me and not knowing how to accept the love from people. It overwhelmed me, and so really the attention was just too much. I couldn't deal with the attention. I wasn't in it for the attention because I really couldn't handle the attention. I could really only handle attention when I was totally in control, when I was the ham, when I was the one, but I couldn't handle receiving it. So the point here is that we are opening up now to new rules in our life. And that means that the new rules, as far as are something we probably haven't done before. It's probably something our heart really would love, like me being camera. I ended up loving it. So it was like, wow, here's a total part of life. Who knew, right? And the truth is like, because it's new, here's the thing. Capricorn is very judgy energy, but really, it's all about performance. Practice makes master. By practicing at the new, you get good at the new. The more you get good at it, the more you feel good at it. You have to practice it. So open your doors, allow yourself, and practice. Because even if you get there and you love it, I wasn't great on camera. I mean, I was surprised with my natural talent. But trust me, I've been doing nothing but trying to improve on it ever since. So I'm not saying it's like you jump out and it's perfect. But you realize, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother mountain here that I could live on. And you might discover that too. All right, my friends, let's now transition to today's Zen Den. So welcome to the Zen Den. And as always, I like to encourage you to take 3 breaths with me, and I check in with my guides and ask them at this time what they have to say about the planets. And then I hang on to that till we start talking about the planets. So let's go in and just take 3 breaths, shall we? And it's so funny here on set, there was the noisiest bird or something behind me over the shoulder. And like as soon as I went into meditation, it got quiet with us. So thanks, creature. Today's affirmation is designed to help you on your day. And this is basically the simple formula, my friend, to make sure you end up on the right mountaintop. You know, sometimes it is a surprise where we land. And the only thing we have is our radar, our own honing beacon, and that's our heart. Because this universe, this reality anyways, is run by law of attraction, which is based on your truth of your heart. So today's affirmation is, I know what my heart wants, so I accept where I belong. I know what my heart wants, so I accept where I belong. If you don't know what your heart wants, you should probably hold on to a pine tree. I don't want to get blown away because you will end up random, or accept the adventure because law of attraction will actually still bring you to what your heart wants. You just might be surprised what that is. So let's take a look at our overhead projector, which is already synced up. Now today I've actually run this at the famous 11:21 a.m., which by the way, I'm just going to give away is the time I was born. So I was born 11:21 a.m., so I'm always interested what's going to happen if I was born today at this day. And today I'd be born right at the quantum moment. In fact, you could say in a very Leo rising way that 22 was the moment that I halamia'd and came in. Halamia! Hi, Mommy! But it's step 21 up until that point. So today we're at step 22 as of 11:21 a.m. Pacific time. But it's step 21 where it starts to get fun, waking up through that point. So if you're watched over my personal Sensei service, I will send you a minor me alert when the energy shifts and give you some definition as to where it's going to be. By the way, have you noticed the resolution of the text kind of going up right now? We're starting to use some new algorithms, new planets. It's kind of fun. Now today the moon is adding to the quantum energy. I'm going to report on the quantum point on. I mean, basically watch yesterday's show, but as far as the quantum point is concerned, you want to protect your emotions, you want to be in your heart, and you want to be prepared to allow things to go based on law of attraction. So just go with the flow based on your heart. Now the moon is in Aquarius. At this point, it's at 27 degrees Aquarius at 11:20 a.m., which is when the molecules really get cooking, by the way. 27 is I act, I am. So that means it's going to be an aggressive hour at that hour for a couple hour period there. And really it's 1 degree per 2 hours. So we're looking at about 6 hours before the moon moves into Pisces. So it's basically all day, basically for 6 hours from this point on. Our emotions are detached, and they're in the highest degrees of Aquarius, which is like anything goes. You just kind of accept it. You know what I mean? Like that, the highest vibration of Aquarius is like, Woodstock. It is like where people are just like, it's all good. It's like where people just like break down and just get along, and that's all that matters. So it's interesting. This means people are going to be willing to try some funky stuff that they normally don't try, which is good. I think people have been too much stuck in their shift, right? All right, so Pluto is what I want to talk about at step 15. So what's important about Pluto is Pluto sets like the bottom. Pluto is rock bottom, literally. It is the line between rock bottom and going back to God. And that is what Scorpios are. They're soul guardians of the line, and their responsibility on the planet is to be that soul guardian. So every Scorpio that complains to me about how they're the ones that always have to speak up, yes, you're a soul guardian, that's your job. I have to manifest theme parks, you have to speak up about people cutting in line. That's the way it is. But here's the thing, Pluto is at step 15, which means that although we are going for quantum today, all we have really signed up for and have to rock bottom is just peace. Peace, which adds to a 6. So basically you want to stay in peace. You want to stay, the bottom, the rock bottom of any decision is it has to be peaceful and easy. If you make a decision where the rock bottom situation is not peaceful and easy, Pluto will, in my opinion, destroy that situation eventually. Pluto's saying, no, it's not going to work. You're building it on a radioactive foundation. Pluto said it had to be easygoing no matter what. Now, you may be going for step 22 stuff, your highest dreams, where you truly belong for that big mountain jump, okay? And that's okay. But if you're not, 15 is fine, is what the universe is saying. Now, Venus and Saturn here, this is where a lot of the change is happening, like underneath the seams, is that Venus is at step 16, that adds to a 7. Again, that 6, see that 6, that easygoing? It really is all about this easygoing 6 energy where things are really 6C, and we're all giving and receiving, and things are easy. That is really the basis of how spirit works. Venus at 16 says, hey, I'm ready to open up to the Sagittarius, the philosophy, the way, the education, the knowledge of how it works. I just want to know how it works. And because it adds to a 7, it ends up being a spiritual sort of thing. The last thing I'll just say is a Martian thing. Mars, which is in Scorpio forever, and is just enforcing, like I said in the beginning of the show. Mars is at step 5, which is I think. So everyone's going to be going around the planet telling you what they think. Okay? Just telling you, like, especially the young grasshoppers. They'll all be telling you what they think. That's because Mars is saying it's time to enforce what you think. It's time to quit switching sides. You can't keep switching sides. You got to kind of call the race. And so people are, like, enforcing what they think. Masters can do it on the inside world. Kids need to prove it in the outside world. When kids prove it in the outside world, masters see and can learn from the kids. So it's all good if you can just relax. But the point is that we are enforcing what we think right now. And if you're involved in a legal matter or something like that, I mean, Mercury direct is definitely the time to count on results. But I would say might want to go ahead and serve them with Mars at step 5. Mars is saying, go ahead and serve them, let them know it is not what they think. Okay? And that's the whole point of this. Anything else, my guides? No, we're going to leave it there with that. I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thanks for all the comments. You know, if you'd like to comment on the show and meet other serious joiners, they're at soulgarden.tv. Come on into Namaste today and leave your mark. I love to hear about people's stories. I love to see how their lives are changing. I love to see the affirmations. Also, if you like trying my personal Sensei service, it's fantastic. It's getting better every day because I keep adding new features now that we stabilize. Come on down to seriousjoy.me. You can read about it and you can sign up. You'll start immediately for 99 cents. Cancel anytime. And I'll be back on Hump Day, which is known as Wednesday. Until then, my friends, stay in your hearts. Be clear on what your heart wants and where you belong. And remember, I love you. Until then, live, love, be.
So